your problem, so I have to warn you I charge 50 for the hour.
Oh, it won't even take that long. Fucking, I think somebody tried to break in last night.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So fucking, I mean, I don't think they really tried that hard, but it sure made a lot of fucking noise. So, you know, and it woke me up out of a dead sleep. And I was like, what the fuck? So, you know, I go downstairs, check it out, and I go outside. I don't see nobody. You know, so I look around the house because I'm like, all right, you know, maybe they got in, you know, not through the front door, but maybe through the garage. I check.
I gotta tell you, man, this guerrilla marketing for Raid Shadow Legends is getting out of hand.
Right? Shit. But yeah, no, I did not get much sleep last night. I mean, it looked like somebody maybe just like was attempting to, but you know, didn't get in because we got those security screen doors, and you know what they sound like when they're being hit. Or when somebody tries to, you know, yank them open with the, you know, tweaker.
When a screen door gets hit, it usually sounds kind of like a thunderstorm.
Exactly. So I'm like, what the fuck? So, but yeah, no. Got back in bed and was just like, all right, well, I'm gonna try to sleep.
You got any guns or anything?
You think I'd tell you that on a fucking recording? What are you, the fucking ATF? Do you have?
Well, how are they going to know? How are they going to be able to trace the guns if the serial numbers are scratched off? This is sarcasm.
All I'm saying. Hey, let me ask you a question. When you were a kid, did you used to blow bubbles?
Can we not do this, please? I already heard you do the same joke twice in one stream with fucking B.A.T.R.
Oh, no, I'm serious.
Yeah, but he got caught in the act and had to move out of the neighborhood.
I'm about to say he's back, but
I don't miss him.
Son of a bitch, I didn't know you heard that. I didn't know I was the one you heard it from.
You must have not been listening to the Discord call. I hopped into the Discord call and talked with Realism and B.A.T.R for like 10 minutes.
Oh shit!
I think you were on like mute and deafen on the Discord call, I guess.
Must have been game. Were we playing Phasmo or was it Headliners?
No, Headliners, the one where you're like reporters or whatever, like photographing monsters and shit.
Oh yeah. That's a fun fucking game. I tell you,
it was kind of fun.
Me and Aurelius, we were in this building trying to photograph some aliens and shit, and this motherfucker singing Elton John, I think, or some fucking singer, and he's singing. And I go, "Hey man, who sings that song?" He goes, "Oh, so and so." I say, "Yeah, let's keep it that way." He goes, you know what? First off, fuck you. Second, I'm stealing that.
Your sarcasm game is almost as good as my tweet game lately. I feel like my tweets have been pretty good lately.
Dude, some of those fucking ones that got me dead, I'm like, God damn.
Yeah, look at my most recent ones. Look at my most recent one.
Yeah, I saw with the autistic fucking surgeon.
I am from Akron.
God, that dude's performance was such shit.
So, what?
Yeah, that dude's performance was such shit. Like, he's supposed to be high functioning autistic, and fucking yeah, it's like he saw like a video of somebody who's, you know, hit severely with autism, and it's just like, buddy, the two don't work together. That's why the fucking show got canceled.
No, he's not supposed to be high functioning. That's why one of the doctors is his fucking handler.
Oh, that's a problem, because why the fuck is he a surgeon? I wouldn't trust his ass to be my surgeon. I've had some shitty fucking doctors too. I would not trust.
It's a fucking Hallmark TV show. I don't know what to tell you, man.
I would trust those shitty doctors over that motherfucker. he has a needle in his buddy, spit it the fuck out.
Yeah, a fucking flick of dust is gonna fall on his lab coat. And he's just gonna and like stab you with the fucking scalpel.
Right? Like shit, dude. No, he was good in the Bates Motel. That was about it.
I never watched that.
I mean, it's all right. It's not the best, but it is pretty good.
I mean, I enjoyed the Good Doctor show from what I saw of it. I haven't watched the full show. I watched like the first season.
Well, to be
I mean,
fair,
I enjoyed it.
To be fair, me personally, I hate doctor shows on TV because you get those people.
But you don't like House? House is a fucking great show.
It's a great show, sure, but you still get those people that watch it and they think, oh, I'm a doctor now.
Right, exactly.
Fuck. I hate Grey's Anatomy just because of that. Oh my God. I
feel like that's like, that's how like people are using media as like a stand-in for actual learning and like information. That's not, I mean, I watch clips from House all the time on YouTube because the show's entertaining.
Oh,
and
yeah,
like that's House is like my specific brand of autism. It's very similar to how I function.
Well, the show's good. The House is good. My girl, she likes watching it, but she doesn't try to sit there and, pretend like, oh, hey, you're coughing. You may have myelomic cancer. Like, what? Like this one girl I used to work with, she was a big fan of Grey's Anatomy. Every time, she'd watch the episodes or whatever, she would talk about it, right? Well, I got 2 bad knees and a bad back. So from time to time when it's really cold, I ache. That's just how it is. Now, this is before my bad back, so I had just 2 bad knees. When it gets cold, my knees hurt. They grind. It's like when you hear the old people say, I can tell it's gonna rain soon.
That's you got to stop sucking dick in the rain.
Well, fucking, I try not to, but it just, it feels more romantic. And, I mean, this bitch would, I'd be like, man, geez, my knees. Oh, you better get that checked out. It sounds typical of, and she throws some fucking medical jargon she's heard of. And it's just like, girl, it's called arthritis. It's just part of, life. It happens. Well, it could be something more than arthritis. But God can only hope, I mean, fuck. It's just like I went to a doctor. I was told it was arthritis, but fuck that doctor. It wasn't the one on Grey's Anatomy. And Jesus Christ, that show sucks so much. They were like, hey, you know what? Let's do this. Let's just make everybody fuck each other. Now, granted, it's not too far off the truth, but it's like, come on, y'all ain't got any better storylines than, hey, you know what? I am straight and I am going to sleep my way through these doctors. I have found myself and I am now gay. And I am going to sleep my way through all these doctors. I have changed my mind. I am no longer gay anymore. I am straight. And I'm going
to sleep my way through all these doctors.
Exactly. I think I have a connection with this one who's a doctor sleeping his way through the entire hospital.
It's like one step away from a bad porno where like the guy gets wheeled in on a gurney. He's like, doctor, I think I broke my leg and his dick's already out.
Jesus. No, fucking, that show is so goofy. Like the fans themselves, goddamn. But yeah, this bitch, I think she spent 2 weeks every time, because we were just getting into winter, and Yeah, she spent about 2 weeks trying to diagnose me with some fucking disease I ain't never heard of.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm just like, what the fuck?
That's, yeah, I mean, that would turn me into a misogynist real fast. That would get real annoying.
I'm gonna be honest. Fucking, it's like, I asked her one time, well, what do you do if somebody gets shot? Just to test her. Well, what you got to do is you got to apply pressure. She's right. And then, if you can, you got to stuff the wound with something. I was like, okay, but what's that with something? She goes, anything. It's like, oh, no, that's, you don't do that.
That's how you get an infection.
No, it's supposed to be anything that's clean, sterile, and she goes, well, I mean, it's a gunshot wound. You're going to be bleeding out. Your blood's going to be pushing out the bacteria. It's like
That's not how that works.
You're trying to not do that. You don't go, hey, buddy, let me stuff this dirty bar rag into your fucking wound. But before I do that, I'm going to let your blood push the bacteria off of it. I understand
that the rancid beer doesn't infect your bloodstream.
I understand it's arterial, but we got to make sure your blood cleans this up. So I told her,
a good 2, 3, maybe 4 pints come out, you'll be good.
Right? You'll feel good. You'll feel all right before the light takes you. But no, I told her, I was like, no. What you do is if you ain't got nothing around, you stick a tampon in it. And she goes, what? I was like, yeah, you just shove a cotton pony in there and apply pressure till the actual medical professionals show up. Now, I did find out that itself is inaccurate too. Because I did hear that if you don't have anything, lying around, but you got just household stuff. But I found out that was actually not a good thing either. That actually, if you have a clean shirt, that's most likely the best thing to use. Because there's lots of it.
Welcome to the Master Malpractice Cast, everyone.
Well, I mean, I'm not a fucking doctor. I'm just saying, you got to stuff.
No, this clean. Is real medical advice that you can implement in your everyday life if something should go wrong, and make sure to credit us when the real paramedics get there and ask you, why did you stuff 3 dirty bar rags and spit lube your gunshot wound?
I mean,
These 2 idiots on the internet who run a shitty D&D podcast told me to.
We could easily say, we're just preppers. Prepping you for the doomsday that's going to be arriving any time now.
Xi Jinping's going to send out nukes and everyone's going to live underground and turn into toad people.
Toad people?
Toad people. I tried to do like a fucking weird hybrid.
It's toad people now. That's what it is. You're gonna evolve into a toad.
Everyone's going to turn into 2 mad.
Hey, you're going to evolve it. I hope to God and I pray to Jesus that we evolve and we become 3 dog. Ow! Master BATR Cast! Bass on the left and Slacker on the right. 2 idiots who masturbate all night. Talking about nothing at all. Just throwing shit at the wall. This tavern's got no fear. Ever since we stepped in here, pull up a chair and pick up a drink, cause we got topics that'll make you not think. Master BATR Cast. Today's topics of discussion is what was it? Realism, D&D, and realism and D&D are the rule of cool. Which is worse?
Yeah, so I kind of have this thought experiment, I guess you call it, that I've been just kind of thinking over, because in the games that I've run at home when I first started out, or whether it's the games that you've run for us, or just other stuff that I've seen, like the games that I saw being run while I was working in a tabletop store. I've seen like I've seen like rules as written. I've seen rules based off realism. I've seen people tweak rules this way, that way. Um, but especially in like the last 5 years, I'd say, doing no small part to the Matt Mercer effect and Brendan Lee Mulligan. And don't get me wrong, those guys are great DMs. So no shit on them at all, especially because who are we, But I think the rule of cool has kind of become the predominantly more popular way of ruling things just by and large. And I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with that. And I'm not a super rules as written, like rules lawyer kind of guy. I think that if you're playing a game with friends, there's no harm in bending the rules so that, things can be done in a way where everyone has more fun and stuff like that. But, at what point is that too far? Like, at one point is it like, A, you're no longer playing D&D if you bend the rules a certain amount, which is fine. Because there's hundreds of different systems and stuff like that, from Pathfinder to the 40k the 40k rule set, and something apocalypse rules where it's like based off 2d6s. And then I even have homebrew systems that I've made for games that I haven't even barely drawn up the concept for yet. So it's like, bending rules is not a huge deal, but when I say like ruins the game, like at one point is it like, okay, well now you're just bending rules arbitrarily based on like a situation to situation thing, and nothing's consistent.
Some on your mind, champ?
What do you mean?
I don't know. It seems a little pointed here. Some on your fucking mind?
Hey man, I didn't say it. You did. No, but I just, I think it's something that should be talked about, because if you're gonna call yourself like a creator in the D&D space, like we do, at least in the tabletop space, consistency in rules is a thing that should at least be somewhat strictly followed, not to a T. Like I said, like, playing super by the book is really just, as a group, it's not our cup of tea.
Well, so when it comes to the rules as written, I hate rules as written, because the rules as written, it's in D&D, can make some goofy shit happen. And it's not even like, oh my God, that's so cool. It's, oh my God, you watched the same person I watched who had nothing better to do than to...
the peasant railgun.
Yeah, Or, hey, do you want to know how to make a nuke?
You can hand something off as a free action. So,
did you want to make a nuke in D&D? Here's how you do it. You take an empty journal and you just start attaching spells to it. Fireball would work. And it's just like, But I think rules as written definitely ain't for me, because it allows some goofy shit to occur that the DM can't really say. I mean, the DM can say no to, but when you're playing rules as written, it just ends up being an argument. Well, rules as written states. And it's like, yeah, but like I've only had to use rule 0, I think twice. And it was for some goofy off the wall shit that's just like, no. Like, I want to jump to the moon. No. I rolled a natural 20. Okay. No. The realism, I will admit, I do prefer, realism as opposed to, outlandish bullshit. However, the realism isn't, to a T. I mean, you're in a world where there's magic, there's dragons, there's undead. Obviously, real world realism isn't gonna really apply there.
Right.
But certain things like, hey, I want to jump to the moon. okay, that's an impossible task. Can I roll for it? Sure, you can roll for it. Now, when I say sure, you can roll for it, you can roll a natural 20. I don't give a shit. You're still not making it. You'll jump higher than you've ever jumped before, but you're still not jumping to the fucking moon. It's like I had this one guy. He wanted to create an arc reactor like Tony Stark. So
oh no.
He goes,
I already know where this is going.
He goes, "Hey, is there a box of scraps lying around?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, there's a box of scraps." He goes, "Cool, I make an arc reactor." I was like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, I make an arc reactor." I was like, that doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, it's a box of scraps. It's a box of scrap metal. Well, you know, that's how Tony Stark made it, out of a box of scraps. And I'm thinking, like, what? So I'm going back in my head to the first fucking Iron Man movie where Obadiah Price says Tony Stark was able to make this in a cave in the desert out of a box of scraps. And I told him, I said, you realize that that line was to downplay what Tony did. Well, but he still made it. I was like, no, he didn't. He didn't make it out of a box of scraps. He got all the shit that he needed from high-tech Stark Industries weapons.
You know, like industrial strength, like neodymium magnets and shit.
Yeah. Like
you're not going to find Stark tech in a fantasy world where the most high-tech transportation there is a fucking like an axe beak or like
but here's the thing, and I'm open to creativity. I am 100%. Like if he would have said, "Hey, I have 2 potatoes, some nickel, and a copper wire." Okay, you would be able to, in theory, create yourself something conductive. Nothing, you know, too powerful, but you would be able to create something conductive. And I would work with that. And okay, it's, you know, fucking basic ass fucking I forget what the hell it's called.
Chemistry?
Science. Yeah, chemistry. I wasn't sure if it was chemistry, but yeah, basic ass chemistry, basic ass science. It'll work for a little bit. If you're trying to power a suit, sure. We could say that you have this potato clock strapped to your chest powering your suit. Is it gonna, you know, power it exactly like an arc reactor? Fuck no. But it's gonna make you, the player, go, okay, I created this. Let me see if I can refine it, make it better. Not, I create an arc reactor out of a box of scraps. Like, get fucked. Get fucked. But
this is actually a good point that I was going to bring up. If you want to finish your thought real quick, and then I'll.
Now go ahead. I want to hear you bitch about our D&D without bitching about our D&D.
No, it's not about our D&D specifically, and this is not shade on you at all.
I know, I'm just fucking with you.
But I think, okay, so obviously anytime you have a problem player at the table at all, and it's rarely ever the DM's fault, any type of ruling, the problem player is going to make it a problem because that's what a problem player does. I was going to say, you know, regardless of whether you're playing, let's just say there's 2 ultimatums, right? Let's say there's either playing by realism or playing by the rule of cool with no in between, just hypothetically, right?
And
this might be a controversial take. I think that playing by the rule of cool leaves a wider window of problems to sprout up than playing by rules of realism.
Very true. Rule of cool is very subjective.
Yeah. If you're working within the rules of reality, sure, there might be small disputes here and there, but if it's anything super severe and to the point where you're disagreeing over it, you can Google something about, you know, objectively realistic in the realm of like physics or whatever, right? But rule of cool, you're right, it's completely subjective. Some DM might think that this is cool and this is doable in their world, others might not. And that's where the arguments come in. Whereas when it's something objective, like say, oh, like the progression of falling speed. Like in Rule of Cool, you might be able to say, oh, like the druid flaps their arms really hard and slows their descent. It's like, okay, that might work with one Rule of Cool DM. Another Rule of Cool DM might be like, no, that's not,
That's
we're not doing
goofy.
that.
Yeah.
But yeah. But if you're playing by rules of realism, it's objective. Like, no, that's not going to slow your descent.
Well, and to be completely fair, like I'll
If
do
that
the
problem player,
I'll do the rules of realism, but if somebody says some cool ass shit, like, and I mean some cool ass shit, where it's just like, fuck, that's cool. I'll let it slide. I'll let it go. Like, but I mean, it's got to be cool. I mean, if it's some goofy ass shit like, oh, to slow my trajectory and not reach terminal velocity, I'm going to flap my arms. Buddy, that's not going to work. Like, that's not going to work at all. That's going to actually backfire. Like, you're falling. You've got the wind pressure reaching, blowing past you. You're reaching terminal velocity. If you were to manage to flap your fucking arms faster than, snail shits, I'd be impressed. However, that's not how it fucking works. There's not enough, there's not enough surface. You're too heavy to be flapping your arms. Now, if, for instance, say, oh, hey, that druid is falling, and the druid's like, fuck, I want to wild shape into an eagle, and they don't have enough wild shape, I guess changes. I don't know. If they could change at will, correct?
I think it depends on like level, and I think there's some races that can do it innately, like once or twice.
All right. Well, let's say that they don't have at will, and they're not an innate race that can wild shape, and they're like, I want to wild shape into an eagle. Well, you don't have that. You're out of your charges. You can't. And they're like, can I roll for it though? I mean, because we're talking life or death here. All right, I'll let you roll for it.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense because like you hear about those real life stories of moms like lifting cars off of their kids and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I feel like in yeah,
you could say that I push my character past their limit and wild shape into a bird. Because I mean, if you're in a party, we all know you're not just gonna wild shape into a butterfly and slow your own descent. As your friends slap against the fucking floor below.
Right. You're try to transform into a giant eagle and save all.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. If you push yourself past that limit and you transformed into a giant eagle to save your friends, I'll let it slide. Your character's going to get some points of exhaustion, though. I mean, that's just how that is. However, that's cool. But I flap my arms. No. You are hit. You personally will hit that floor faster and harder than everybody else. You will not fall at the same fucking speed. You will fall faster. Because fuck you. That's ridiculous. But again, the cool is subjective. What's cool?
Like for me, if I was running like a one shot that wasn't super serious, I would let that slide.
I would let goofy shit slide 110% because I mean, it's not really affecting the world. It's not affecting, character growth. It is just a one shot where, your character is just kind of there. You create a character on the fly, and that's not the case with everybody though. Some people, they put some deep thought into their one shot characters because maybe they want to take that one shot character and bring them to a campaign. But my experience, it's just goofy characters. Not with you and your brother though, because you guys brought some serious ass characters. And but yeah, I mean, I'll let goofy shit. I mean, fucking the rules are there, but they will get broken 110%. I still like a bit of realism, you know, a bit, but like if you're gonna be like, I want to run around naked, the town guard is not gonna fucking waste their time chasing you because, oh, you broke the rules of running around naked. Like, you're running around naked, okay? People are looking at you, laughing at your cold dick. Well, now I want to put on a towel. Somebody hands you the smallest piece of tissue that's just big enough.
Hide the turtle.
Right? But no, I mean, the rules are there as the way I take it is the rules are there as an outline. And you don't have to follow it strictly because, again, the rules as written's got some goofy ass shit. And if you got players that will take advantage of that, oh, fuck. That is, because, I mean, then you're just basically, it's player versus DM in my experience, because it's just like, oh, well, you know, I'm going to make the DM, you know, basically adhere to the arbitrary rules of this book, which are I can't a natural 20 always succeeds. And it's just like, So you could say, oh, hey, I want my character to spontaneously combust, but with the force of a, you know, a bomb that would crack the planet in half. That's some goofy ass shit.
Krakatoa.
Well, I'm gonna roll for it. I'm gonna roll for it. What do you even roll for? Well, we could say survival. You roll survival check, you get a natural 20. That means rules as written means up. He succeeds. Well, congratulations. You spontaneously combust and crack the planet in half. Cool. All right. Your character's dead. And now the planet is in half. Oh, damn. Had the hiccups, tried not to die there.
That was a hiccup.
Oh, yeah. But no, fucking. And then
Choked
you got
on a hiccup.
pretty much tried to drink some old coffee and get rid of it. But no, and then on the flip side, you've got the critical fails. And nobody likes a critical fail. I mean, critical fail, you fail. You failed miserably. Okay, so when somebody tells me I've failed miserably, I'm going to take that as, okay, well, you tried to chop down this door that you can easily pull open, and your axe got stuck, and in a fit of rage, you tried to pull it out, and you broke the head of your axe. And as you pulled and broke the head of your axe, the door opens up. You'll have a lot of players pissed at that. Well, that's stupid. It's a fail. What the fuck you expect?
Could have had a magically enchanted weapon, then it wouldn't break.
Or you could have just pulled the fucking door open. The bane of every D&D player is a door.
That's for real. That's so real. I cannot wait until we start lockpicking doors in the Fallout campaign.
Oh shit, that'll be fun. But
I'm surprised Max hasn't busted out like some lockpicks from Graft yet, because that seems like his wheelhouse.
Shit. Wait till Kieran does it. Wait till Hummy does it. All right, guys, we gotta pick this lock. Picks the lock. It's a fucking unlocked door. He ends up locking it.
Or he rolls a natural 20, he like unzips and sticks his dick in the hole.
Oh God. But no, I mean, the rules as written, I'm not a fan of. Realism, I'm a big fan of. However, with the understanding that you're putting realism in a not so realistic setting. That's kind of how I go with it. And yeah, the rule of cool, if I find something cool, yeah, I'll let that shit slide. But the player may think it's cool, and I may not think it's cool. And that's where you start kind of running into the rule of cool being a very abrasive, very divisive kind of rule. Because what a player may think is cool, because they may have put a lot of thought into it, and the DM just goes, no, that's not that cool. It kind of hurts, because it's just like, fuck, I put a lot of thought into that. Fuck you, man. I thought it was cool.
So I will say, I think that playing rules of realism is better at helping you sniff out a problem player or problem players. And I think that playing by the rule of cool more often than not is going to help you pinpoint how to deal with problem players, if that makes sense.
It does. It does.
Because, and I've seen it firsthand, there are ways that you can kind of, I hate to use this word, but like condition problem players to behave and become like, a healthy players over time, or like people that play well with others. Because 90% of the time, problem players is just a product of main character syndrome.
Yep.
And that can always be, in most cases, it can be fixed. I have seen a few times where someone left the table because they couldn't do X, Y, and Z, and everyone else was like either uncomfortable with it or was stealing everybody else's thunder every single time. And that's like, I think I've said it once or twice on the podcast before. If your idea of playing D&D is just you get to do cool shit all the time first and foremost, don't play D&D, just write a book where you're the main character.
Pretty much. Because yeah, it's that main character syndrome is very real. Very real. It's I mean, having big personalities, playing D&D is one thing, because yeah, everybody's got a big personality or knows someone with a big personality. We have a table where we have a lot of big personalities, and it's very easy for somebody from the outside looking in going, wow, they all got main character syndrome. No, it's just they all got big personalities. So
yep, I mean, especially like Aurelius and Carnivore.
Oh, 100%.
Those two are huge personalities, and I mean, I think it's all done in good fun. But how often do you and Aurelius butt heads?
So me and Aurelius will butt heads when he and it's not even like he'll pull some goofy shit, and he'll try to argue his point, but he's not really arguing his point. Like there's been a couple times where, he'll pull some goofy shit just to argue. And it's not even like, he knows he's not going to win it. But then there's been a couple times where he's pulled, some goofy shit and he's argued his point. And I'm just like, hey, you know what? It's not even fucking worth it. Yeah, go ahead. Sure. But I keep a mental note. Like when he convinced the Minutemen that they shot first. There's no way in fucking hell you'd be able to convince somebody whose friend you just blew the fuck away. Oh, you shot first. But I'll give you that. Go ahead. You convinced him that his friend shot first. That's not what the picture shows. I mean, fuck. How'd that work out for all y'all?
I knew you were going to double cross me, so I double crossed your double crossing.
Right? But no, I mean, fucking, we don't butt heads as in the sense of like, because I used to butt heads with this one guy, and it's just like, Jesus Christ, dude, enough's enough. Like you're not gonna get your way. Like he'll pull some goofy shit, and if he can't do it, he can't do it. but he'll try to argue a little bit, just to see if he could get you to, on his side to say, yeah, that'd be cool to do. There was one player I had where off screen he gave his character plate armor and magically enchanted it and just didn't tell anybody. And then tried to convince me that I gave it to him, which actually I never gave him shit. I actually took shit away from him.
That always baffles me how players think they can get away with that. I've noticed that, like, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's cool. You finish your thought.
I was just gonna say, I've noticed that D&D players, when they get caught, like, not just above board, but like in game too, when the characters get caught doing something they're not supposed to do, they all turn to little kids. And what I mean by that is, like, you ever notice how if a little kid gets caught in a lie, they will just keep lying and keep lying and keep lying until you present like the straight up evidence to their face.
Oh, and
like,
even then,
yeah, and even then, and that's what we did in the fall campaign with the whole Minutemen thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what this guy did with like saying that he had the plate armor and stuff. Like I noticed like it happens with pretty much every D&D party, and most of the time it's not a problem. But when people try and do shit above board, I think that's where the real problem starts. That's like the true side of a problem player, because people can dispute rules all day long, and as long as they're not dicks about it, it's not a huge deal.
Well, and it's funnier than hell when Aurelius does try to argue a point that even he knows is, a dead issue. But it's funny. I can
hear him smiling when he's disputing it with you.
Oh, fuck yeah. That motherfucker will gaslight the shit out of you. No, you said this one time. And it's just like, what the fuck? But,
gaslight, gatekeep, ghoul boss.
Right? But no, I mean, when you tell me, oh, well, you gave it to me. No, I didn't. Well, okay, let's assume I did give it to you. That's only an AC of 18. Well, I grabbed a shield too. And then I magically enchanted those, which give me an AC of 22. And you didn't think to tell me? Oh, I didn't know I had to. Like, okay, so the DM, their job is to put you in a world and create somewhat of a compelling story and stick you in it. If you don't tell the DM something, it doesn't happen. Because if the DM doesn't know about it, who's to say who's to say you can't just, oh yeah, well I created a nuke when you weren't looking. Like, the fuck? Oh, well, if you say it, it must have happened. I mean, that's just one of those, it's just like, all right, bud, I'm not even arguing with you on this, because one, you're just making shit up. You're basically, go play a video game at that point. Go play a video game, put yourself in God mode, and have at it. Because that's all you want to do. And it's just, it's not fun. Always tell your DM if you're doing some shit, if you're up to some shit, hey, I would like to grab this. Just let them know. That's it. Like, you don't want to keep shit. See, you can keep shit secret from the party, but not the DM. And you got to trust that your DM ain't going to rat fuck you and then just end up telling the party. Because I've seen that shit too.
Yeah, I think, secrecy is not the right word, but keeping certain details withheld or just between like the specific player and the DM is, I think that pays off in the long run more often than not, as long as there's open communication between the player and the DM. Like, all the stuff that about Axel that the other players don't know yet.
Exactly. And that takes a bit of trust there, because you got to assume that I'm not going to just say, oh, by the way, did you guys know this?
No, you're really good about keeping, details under wraps until they're meant to be, exposed. It also involves the harder part is just me not blowing my load right away like I did with Run, just filling his backstory all at once. Because you can probably tell I've now poured so much into Axel's backstory that I'm like chomping at the bit for the day that comes when like I get to like show everyone the full thing.
Well, and the only time I would ever, release your guys' secrecy would be if there is a true reason behind it. Whether that's, story wise for your character to evolve and grow. It's never to just basically snatch the rug from under you.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's got secrets. Now, the people closest to them may not know, but somebody knows. And I'll leave it at that. Let you wonder, fuck, who knows? Is it Nick? No, Nick would know. Nick wouldn't even know where to start.
But
and anybody listening to this could take it as somebody in the world of Fallout does know. And Axel's gonna sit here and wonder, who the fuck knows? And when he finds,
I have an inkling.
We're gonna cut this part because I'm curious. Who has an inkling?
Who has an inkling about Axel's backstory?
Yeah, who knows that one?
Could be any number of people in the Forged.
Could.
It could be someone that maybe the Forged tangentially worked with or something. It could be, I don't know, it could be one of the Diamond City guards as a double agent or something. I mean, I have ideas of who it could be. Of course, I could be wrong.
Okay. Well, we'll leave that in then. Because I thought you were gonna say something, but no, we'll leave it in.
All right.
Let people guess.
Well, now I'm worried.
Yeah, I'd be fucking worried too. But no, I mean, when a player goes to the DM privately and speaks with them and says, "Hey, I kind of want to have this, and this, but I don't want the other players to know." The DM, of course, has an obligation to keep that information secret, maybe refine it a bit. But, ultimately the DM doesn't have the place to just randomly lore drop someone's character backstory.
Right.
Because that's fucked. Like, a random bar keep goes, "Oh, hey, by the way, your buddy here, did you hear what he did? Oh my God." Like, that's some fucky shit. But if it comes up as like "Oh, hey, by the way, I know about you."
Mm-hmm. I mean, you and me have already kind of talked off mic about stuff like shit from my backstory with Axel early on that, or just like, small details about my character that just kind of didn't line up and make sense. And we found a way to like kind of write it into the story where it'll still be relevant later on.
Well, yeah. And that's the thing is, everybody has done that in secret, except except Graft. Yeah, I think his Graft has come to me and just been like, "Hey, here's some shit on my character." All right, cool, because it gives me something to work with, especially when you got characters who are, let's say, not really well written with the backstory. Like, for instance, Kieran O'Flanagan, perfect example. Kieran O'Flanagan had he was with the IRA, and, came to Boston to sell, weapons or buy weapons. And that's when the bombs dropped.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now Kieran has a wife back in Ireland.
Who knows what happened to her?
Exactly. Now, the player may not be happy with that, which, if that's the case, you got to give me more to work with. And I haven't had that conversation with him, but it's like, you got to give me something more to work with, because then we're running into the whole, your character is a character, but they're not going to have as much depth to them other than just surface level shit. Now, your characters can evolve, and as the story progresses, they may end up divulging a little bit more. But if your character is not going to evolve, I'm going to have to kind of throw some shit in there. Some shit that would make sense. Not some, oh, he had a lover who, was gay. And yeah, because I mean, what if Kieran's not gay? Now I just made his character gay. Like, that's kind of fucked. But he seems to be attracted to women, so it would make sense for him to have a wife at one point. Why was he in the IRA to begin with? Oh, to protect country, fight for country, whatever. Okay. But what are you really fighting for? Most people, they fight for family. I mean, I would think. There are those people that just like to fight just to fight. But getting back to the topic at point, because I could go down this whole fucking rabbit hole for a long time. Realism over rule of cool is definitely the way to do it, but I definitely do like the rule of cool sometimes, because sometimes you guys do come up with some shit. For instance, when Kieran prayed to God, prayed to Adam first. When he prayed to Adam first and failed that roll, I was like, well, we're going to have a TPK. So now I'm preparing myself for a TPK. Now I have to think of, how am I going to explain this in game where it makes sense? And, the characters the players aren't pissed off at me because their characters died. And he goes, can I pray to Jesus? The only reason he got to pray to Jesus was because the player has to pray to Jesus. You could hear the player go, fuck, I'm just going to throw anything at the wall. And it's just like, okay, so now you want to pray to Jesus. All right, well,
also, I feel like there was credence there because he really leaned into Kieran being Catholic.
Well, yeah, and that's the only reason he got to do that, was because his character is Catholic, and it would make sense that his character would try to bullshit a prayer to Adam, and it obviously fail. But a prayer to Jesus, that's that's a little more hard to do. Because I mean, fuck, we're in the Fallout universe. Jesus really isn't talked much about. So I'm like, all right, well, for this one, I know Aurelius doesn't have a D100, but I do. I'm like, all right, well, let me roll this fucker. So I roll it. And yeah, I mean, it blew my fucking mind, because I was just like, a 90 is fair. A difficulty class of 90 is fair, because it's damn near impossible.
Yeah, that's one of those things where it's like, that was meant to happen.
Exactly. It's damn near impossible, and I'd already figured out how I was going to state that their characters died. And yeah, the difficulty was 90, and it landed on 90. Of course, it's not armor class, so it meets it, it beat it. And yeah, it definitely surprised me. And now you have Bush, who had an experience that he probably can't quite process, and everybody's alive. Kieran a little worse for wear, but
little bioluminescence.
yeah, got a little luminescence there.
I
But
just want to say, so much shit has gone wrong for Kieran in the campaign so far, but it's just resulted in him looking more badass.
right,
He lost his leg. He's got a badass robo leg and a pimp cane.
right,
He got hit with a cum shot of radiation, and now he glows.
and got a slight little luminescence to him.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I mean, it was one of those where if I went with the realism, there's acts that can't be explained by science or modern medicine. But the rule of cool on that one worked way better because all of a sudden Bush comes back to life, pops up 1 HP, just grabs these guys and flings them as hard as he can out this fucking creature's mouth. And they somehow, some way, by the grace of whatever, survive. And now you have Bush, who's a super mutant, who's experienced something his brain can't process. So you have two characters that kind of are just like, oh, hey, we're alive. And this other one going, alive? Oh, experience something. Not know what. So, I mean, it works. And there's going to be people out there going, oh, okay, so that you ass pulled that one. No, I was prepared for the players to be dead. I had already prepared.
Gave one last Hail Mary.
Pretty much a holy Hail Mary. And yeah, I was baffled. I'm going to be honest. I was fucking shocked. Because it's not like it beat it by, 3-4 numbers. It was right
on the money.
Dead on the money. That was just like, oh shit. All right. I see where we're going with this. Okay. Far be it from me. But yeah, that rule of cool definitely blew my mind. And far be it from me to go, yeah, it's not that cool. It's not that cool. So, yeah, I think elements of rule of cool definitely should be in the game because, of course, with people that are working together, it is nice to have that moment where your character is a badass. They get to do some badass shit. And maybe they run in there knowing fully well they're going to die. But they, or they stay behind knowing fully well they're going to die just so their friends can escape. And, your friends run from the cave as you hear the screams of the enraged howls of your friend as you hear the clash of steel and stone, and you hear howls of beasts being stabbed, and you hear your friend just screaming. And as you're leaving the cave and you guys get to the surface, and instead of going back there, you're waiting for the impending horde that was pouring through the cave, and out comes your friend, covered in their own blood, barely walking, still alive though. Like, they should have been dead, but that was a cool fucking moment. I'll let that shit slide.
Like that really makes, I think like moments like that are kind of what makes the wow factor of tabletop RPGs. Because it's all about, epic tales of heroes and journeys that no one would dare to go on. And, yeah, sure, you're playing within the real rules of realism within the, the world. But even then, you're playing as these badass heroes or these people who are having a coming of age story, learning to be heroes. Part of being a hero is pulling off amazing feats of strength and resilience that people wouldn't normally be able to do. So it makes sense. Like, yeah, you can have like a wow moment now and then. Like
Exactly.
that unrealistic to not have stuff like that every now and then.
Well, and that's my thing is you
But
know your
yeah,
characters.
I mean, I think like the rule of cool versus
I
rules of
think
realism, they
I
can work together.
I don't think you
But
can hear
people tend to
me.
see them as like, you know, two opposite ends of the spectrum, which is fine. Um, which I think kind of brings us to your point, right? Which is your topic, which is AI art versus actual artists' work in D&D.
Yeah, I don't think you can hear me. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Uh yeah, I forget what I was trying to say while you was talking over me, you son of a bitch. Um no, yeah, I mean my topic that I wanted to bring today is AI art versus artists. Cuz and especially in D&D. Cuz I've been seeing a lot of people, bitching that, oh well, you're taking food off the table of real artists if you use AI. And it's one of those things where I've thought about it, and I've realized that there are two types of artists. One that they feel entitled to your money. They can just give you some piece of shit artwork and you should pay top dollar for it and just shut the fuck up because you're supporting you're supporting struggling artists. And you got those ones that want to earn your patronage. And I'm going to just focus on the ones that want to earn your patronage, because the ones that feel entitled, they deserve to be struggling, and fuck those people. So the ones that want to earn your patronage versus the AI quote unquote artists. The artists that want to earn your patronage, I hate using them. I'm going to be honest, for art, because I am pickier than shit. I mean, I am picky as fuck, especially if I'm paying for it. Now, I do understand that when I come to an artist and I say, "Hey, I would like you to draw up this character I have in mind," the more details, the better. It's always a better situation. The more detailed, the better. Now, of course, if you're giving this artist details and they start getting irritated because, find a better artist. Each artist that wants to earn your patronage has a different style. So definitely find the one that suits your vision. If you go to an artist that mainly draws anime style, your vision is not anime style, you're not going to be happy. So instead of wasting both y'all's time, find the artist that would draws the style that you like. That's one. Two,
I mean, Reddit is amazing for that. Like, you could find
how many AI
artists that draw any style.
How many AI artists did you encounter in the Reddit?
Okay, fair.
Yeah,
I should have done a little more vetoing before that, but I learned my lesson.
Yeah, and
I would argue that the artist that I go to now, I would argue, is very good.
Well, I tell you, the artists that use AI without telling you, fuck those people. Those people are pieces of shit. Because I'm
one of those
sorry.
people tried to charge me $80 for a commission that was clearly, upon you looking at it, you're like, yeah, I mean, this is pretty clearly AI, or at least like heavily AI assisted, and they didn't tell you. Fuck. And wouldn't you know it? As soon as I confronted them about it, they blocked me and deleted their Reddit.
Yeah, because the wrench that you provided as a fucking reference. Thank you. The wrench that you provided as a reference had it had a name on it. Now, when you put a big pipe wrench into AI, it's going to pop up with a name on there, and it's going to try to create a name that may be real, may not be real. The wrench name that it came up with obviously was not English or in any kind of human language, but it had symbols referencing, oh, hey, we're trying to be letters. That's a dead indicator of AI. On top of that, the face of the fucking thing looked like it was ripped from 6 different actors. And it's just like, So yeah, those people that use AI without telling you, but try to pass it off as their art, fuck them. Fuck those people. Those people, yeah. I mean, you could pump out all kinds of bullshit and, you got to pay me $80. Like, yeah, fuck you.
Yeah. And I think the artists that I have now, eventually I'm going to get like a memorial piece over it, put in the graveyard tab on our Discord.
Oh, okay.
If that's cool with you.
I don't mind. That graveyard tab is for any dead player character or any character that is, of importance to the players. So yeah, I mean, I don't give a fuck. Go ahead. But I don't commission artists for the sole reason I am extremely picky. And that's a problem because somebody's going to be like, well, don't be picky. If I'm paying for it, I'm going to be picky. If it doesn't look exactly how I envision it, I'm going to be picky. Now, if somebody is, hey, let me draw you a character, I'll do it for half price. I'm not going to be as picky. I'm going to be gracious because they're, giving me a half price piece of artwork. They're taking their time to, do this. Of course, I'm still paying for it, but I'm not paying as much. If they do it for free, I'm not picky at all because I have no place to be picky. Because that if somebody gives you something for free and you're going to sit there and you're going to be picky, you deserve to get cracked. You deserve to get
message
beaten
all
in the
artists
back.
out there. If you guys want to draw Boz's character, the guy in the podcast artwork with like the mimic tongue and the orc tooth necklace, draw him doing the Elon salute because Boz said he has no right to be picky.
No, first off, now here's a perfect example. So the character that y'all are seeing in the thing, not the skeleton Confederate soldier, but the one that's, wearing the wolf head and all that. Now, he doesn't have an orc tooth as a necklace. He has an orc cock from the first orc that he killed. He took the thing's dick as a trophy. If you know what that references, then good on you. If you don't, watch the movie Your Highness. It's a beautifully done movie. It's right up there with The Princess Bride. But the artist did not feel comfortable drawing an orc cock necklace. Now, I paid, I think, what, 50? Yeah, I paid. We went in halvesies on it.
It was a deal because originally it was like 100 per character.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna, be as picky. But if I was paying full price, you bet your fucking ass. Like, my character's hair is not brown, it's gray. But it is what it is. He's got quite a few scars. But again, it is what it is. I'm not going to be super picky and ungracious. I'm being picky now just to give an example. But I am appreciative that the person that did the art was gave us a deal. I am very appreciative of that, and I will always say that. But for example reasons, I'm being picky. But that's not fair to an artist, because if we're sitting there, I'm paying full price, And okay, how do you like this? I really don't like this. We could do this, we could do that, blah, blah, blah. And they do that. Now I have another problem with it. Again, being picky. That artist is going to get frustrated. That artist is going to get mad. That artist is going to be like, I cannot please this person. And you, in fact, are correct. You cannot please me because I'm extremely picky. Now, I'm not being picky because, you know, oh, I don't want to pay you. I'm being picky because I have a vision in my mind. And if it doesn't match exactly that, I'm going to hate it. That's just how it is. And that's not fair. That's not fair to an artist. So instead of wasting their time, I'd much rather plug it into AI and get something somewhat close to where, all right, cool, I can work with this. I can make it to where I'm happy with it, you know, and cool. But I'm never going to try to pass it off as my own. I'm not going to say, oh, I drew this myself. No, because that's a fucking lie. Just like if I take inspiration from, you know, an AI image, you know, I'll be like, you know, I got some inspiration from AI. Because there's no fucking shame in it. You know, you do what you can. Plus, it just happens to be free.
As long as you're upfront and everyone that's involved and knows it, I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
Exactly. But if you have the means and you're not as picky as I am, you know, because that's another thing is, you know, these people that are bitching about AI, they don't realize it's like, hey, you know, some of us that use AI are actually saving you a whole lot of headache because we're picky. And you definitely don't want to deal with picky people because it's never good enough. And that's not fair to you. Especially if
because it's, I mean, I can definitely see the argument there.
Yeah, especially if you're spending, let's say you spend 4 hours on a piece. Okay, that's 4 hours of your time for $80. Okay, that's $20 an hour. Now, I don't like it. I don't like the way the guy's positioned. I don't like the look on his face. I feel it's a little too goofy. Could be this, could be that. So you spend 2 hours refining it. Now that's 6 hours that you've just spent creating this piece of art for me. Well, now I found something else wrong. The shadowing's a bit off. It looks like he's got two different light sources, you know, pointing at him. So you spend another hour shading it in. So now that's 7 hours. Now you've just gotten paid 10 or about $10 and some odd cents per hour.
Mm-hmm.
It's at what point do you go, you know what? Fuck it. It's not worth it. I'd have been done at the shading. I'd have been like, you know what? Fuck it. It's not worth it. But some people, and there are some artists out there, credit to them, that will go above and beyond, and they'll be ended up making, you know, less than $5 an hour doing a piece of artwork, just so they could have that the person that commissioned them happy. And I feel terrible for those people because it's like, wow.
I mean, it is admirable, but at the same time, like,
yeah,
there is a certain point where you should have enough pride in your work to be like, I know I am worth this much, and it's no disrespect to anyone who doesn't like what I'm putting out, but if I'm not able to deliver what you want in a reasonable amount of time, it wastes both of our time.
Exactly. And that's the thing,
yeah.
is I've seen some beautiful pieces of artwork. And I mean, hell, I even follow a guy that does he draws Gundams, he draws robots, you know, like kind of like Gundam inspired. I saw a piece of his artwork where he drew Yusuke Urameshi from Yu Yu Hakusho. Holy shit. Beautiful piece of work. Beautiful. And if I commission it, now I do like the anime, you know, theme. I don't like it to where it's, you know, like, oh, hey, we're chibi, but I do like the anime inspired themes.
You like old school kind of like 80s, 90s anime look.
Thank you. Yes.
Like
Or,
Akira and stuff like that, or like
yeah.
Rescue Wings.
Yeah. But if I were to commission that guy, I would feel terrible because I am gonna be nitpicking this man's work and tearing it down essentially because it's not to my vision. That's not fair. That's not fair to him. That's not fair to him, his time, or his ability. So that's why I use AI, but I'm always upfront about it. In every episode, there's the disclaimer that we use AI images because we want to be upfront and honest. I want to be upfront and honest because it's just like, I don't want you guys thinking like, oh, hey, all this shit is now. Granted, there are some actual artwork from artists in the video, but it is predominantly AI art for right now. Until you guys end up getting all the artists and it's not predominant, but there would still be a disclaimer. It would go from images here to some, and that way we're up front with you. However, on the flip side, I am no artist. I could draw a little bit. I can draw some anime shit like Dragon Ball Z shit, but I am no fucking artist. And you can do some
graphic design like what you did with the new logo.
I could do that too, yes. However, I am no fucking artist. I am not an artist in any way, nor will I sit here and say, well, I'm an AI artist. No, fuck you. I'm just some dude that fucking puts prompts into a bar, clicks send that shit, and fingers crossed that the AI actually creates what I was thinking, or close enough to where I could kind of manipulate it a bit. So yeah, if you use AI images and you call yourself an artist, you're a piece of shit. I'm sorry, you're just a piece of shit. I mean,
that's a case where AI actually is taking away work from real artists because you're posing as an artist and trying to pass it off as real work.
Exactly.
Whereas someone who has actually practiced and improved their talent with art for years, you might be taking a commission slot away from them because someone saw, commissions for $20 cheaper. And then they're getting an inferior product because all you're doing is typing prompts in, and you're taking away work from that other more qualified artist and a relationship between that potential client, that artist, where they could have like a productive working relationship.
Exactly. And yeah, I mean, you're right up there with those people that call themselves DJs who just press play.
I'll have you know my YouTube playlist is very robust. Thank you very much.
Well, no, I'm saying like those people that go to these clubs and just press play.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh, such a great DJ. No, fuck you. It's just a bunch of sounds. Yeah, but they sound cool. No, it's just a bunch of fucking sounds. Like, you're not a DJ. I'm sorry. Just like if you sit there and you put musical notes into a program and you add the sounds of violins and trumpets and all that shit, does that mean that you're a composer? Does that mean that you are the conductor of a orchestra? No, it means you know how to use musical notes. Could you create music? Sure, you could. But if you start going around saying, "Oh, I'm a conductor," no, you're not. You're not a conductor. Sorry, you're not a. You compose music in a program that is always in tune. That always has the instruments that you need.
Yeah, I mean, you could call yourself like a DAW musician or like a digital composer or digital not digital composer.
No, digital composer. I would accept that. because that tells you exactly what the person does. They compose music digitally, which
Yeah, I guess so.
you know that when you hear it, it's going to be missing something. It's going to be missing that human element where,
Right.
when you listen to an orchestra in person, you can almost feel the emotion that's gone into the music. But when you hear it digitally composed, you can still hear the music. It may sound good, but you're still missing that element.
Yeah.
Those, if somebody says, "Oh, I'm a digital composer," cool, whatever, that's fine. At least you're honest about it. You're not saying, "Oh, I went to the recording booth and basically got all these people together and they played music for me while I gave them direction." Like, see how shitty that sounds? See the mental gymnastics you have to play on that?
Oh yeah.
That's the same that AI artists. Well, all I do is I just put prompts into the prompt bar and keep pressing search or send or whatever, and my index finger gets very tired. It's hard. Like, the fuck? So yeah, AI artists are not real artists. Let's be honest. But for D&D, it saves a lot of fucking time if you're just using AI art.
I will say it's also like eventually we might be able to get some ad revenue off the channel, or we might sell merch if God willing, if it ever gets that big. But we're not going to slap AI prompts on t-shirts and call it a day with merch if it ever gets to that point.
No.
So all the AI stuff that we're doing right now, it's quality of life stuff that is hopefully going to improve the experience for you guys until we have more time and or money to make more authentic stuff and put that in. And once we have the means to do that, we're that's what we're going to do. I'm pretty sure we're all in agreement that we want to get a point where we can comfortably, pay, talented, credited artists what they're worth and hopefully get some quality artwork throughout the whole channel.
And I won't be in charge of that. That'll be somebody else's job, because fucking I already know I'm picky.
With how outspoken I've been about supporting artists, I guess that would probably fall on my shoulders, which I'm perfectly fine with.
Yeah, more or less, because I'm too picky. And like I've said and stated, that's unfair. It's unfair to somebody whose livelihood is dependent on commission. That's definitely not fair. And I'll be honest, and people are going to say, "Oh, well, maybe you should be less picky." See, now that's where I have the problem, because I'm picky for a reason. If I'm spending my money on something, I expect to get exactly what I want. If I spend $80 on a video game, I expect to get an $80 video game that was worth every goddamn penny. If I don't, I'm going to feel like I got cheated, that my money was actually wasted on a product that was subpar. And then I'll never fucking buy that shit again. With artists, you could kind of communicate with them. I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that. And cool, great. And then I'll still be picky, because there's something, it's just like it's never exactly how I envision it. And maybe I should draw and teach myself how to draw, get better at art myself. That way it's, I'm the one that's putting it from mind to paper or whatever. And even then I'm still picky. Like, oh, this could be better. That could be better. I'm very critical of, going from brain to paper, because it never looks exactly right. Even when things I'm like, oh, hey, I did this. It could always be improved. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I don't think you should be made to feel guilty for being picky, for knowing what you want. I think
No.
that's kind of where the disconnect would probably be for some people, where it's like, oh, well, you're just thick. It's like, well, no. People have different ideas of what a satisfactory product is. That doesn't make you bad just because you have more specificity in mind.
Yeah, well, and
But it's just a lot of artists. A lot of artists you probably just aren't going to gel with.
well, and that's the thing is, one, I know I'm picky. So that's why I don't deal with, artists, because I'm very aware of it'll end up just being a waste of their time and my time.
Right.
And that's not fair.
Right. It's one way of removing the problem.
Exactly. AI art is absolutely imperfect. 100%, but at least it gives me something to where I can, a jump off point where I could kind of refine it a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Now, will I sit there and say, oh yes, I've created this whole thing? No. Even if it's inspired by AI, I'll let you guys know, because I'd much rather be upfront and say, yeah, this was inspired by AI, than it come out and say, oh, all the art is, all the original quote unquote art that he's done is inspired by AI. Because then it just looks bad. It's like, oh, well, you're being shady for fucking no reason.
Well, I don't think that I think that AI has just been used improperly in the artist sphere a lot. I definitely think it can be a valid jumping off point, because sometimes you have trouble, putting having the base idea. Like, I'll give you an example. About probably 10 years ago now, for one of my uncle's birthdays, I painted him, and I'm not a painter at all, but I painted him like a portrait of one of the best pictures of him, where he's sitting on this chair that my aunt upholstered. And he's like, he's looking sharp. He's got his glasses on. He's got like a sweater on. He's looking nice. I can't draw. I can't paint. I went to an art studio and had someone help me, like, basically draw it out on a canvas for me, and then give me like step-and-step instructions on how to like fill it in with different paints and how to shade it and everything. Like, did I make that? Well, not really. I had a bunch of help. I had guidance from an artist. I put the brush to the canvas, and I did what was told of me. I put in the time to do what I could, but that doesn't make me a painter. It makes me a guy who picked up a paintbrush.
Exactly. But you also aren't trying to pass yourself. Oh, I'm quite the painter.
No, right.
I mean, people that watch Bob Ross and would paint with him each and every day, those are painters. 110%, those are painters, because they followed along. They learned that, are they going to be selling these masterpieces? Maybe. Bob Ross had a way of making, I mean, like, it looked like shit at first, but then, once he was getting there, finally, adding the final touches, it's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
That's fucking breathtaking.
That's just like, some people just see the world in a completely different way, man.
Exactly.
Like, it's like, how like musicians can hear music everywhere. Like like the hum of your fridge is in like a certain tone, and people can pick up on that. And I've seen videos of people recording like their microwave making sounds, or their fridge making sounds, and making whole like EDM songs in Cubase based off all those sounds and stuff. It's like, man, I would love to get to that point at some point where like
all they do is just press play. Those sons of bitches.
Nah, I will disagree with you there.
No, but that does go to bring up a good point. Are those people musicians? Or
I would
are
argue
they,
yes,
or
because
are they
even though
just
they're using
somebody,
programs,
or are they just some asshole press and play? And I would agree, yeah, they are musicians, because they definitely took musical talent or a musical gift and used what they had to make something. And
right, it goes beyond just using technology. It's like, it's using what you know, and having tools that make the process easier. That doesn't take away from the fact that you made something. That's why I think people are using AI incorrectly in the art sphere. I get like the what's called like procedural AI or something like that, where it's like it's like oh, plug in a basic prompt and it gives you all this, and hey, now you don't have to go to an artist. It's like I could see someone using like if they're struggling with making backgrounds at first, for example, plug in an AI prompt like give me a cityscape background as like a template, and then you can use that. You can look at it and kind of base that off of how you're going to draw, and then because you don't know how to draw cityscapes at first, right? So you use like a jumping off point to get like a basic idea of what you want, and then over time you refine it, and then eventually you might not need to use the tool anymore. That's a process that an artist could use, where it's using tools that make your job easier or do what you can't in the moment, and then using that to learn. It's like how we fuck around with Suno, right? Like it sounds dumb. I don't call myself a musician for using Suno. I call myself a musician for other reasons. Like, you know, I used to perform in music clubs and stuff, and I'm learning Cubase, and I'm learning how to use GarageBand, and I'm working on singing techniques, and I write raps and stuff like that. But my lyricism has improved so much because I don't go into Suno and just have it spit out a song for me. Like 99 times that, like if I do that, it's for like a dumb idea that I want to use for a quick laugh, right? But 99 times out of 100, I don't even think I've used Suno that much, but like, you know, let's say for the sake of the argument, 99 times out of 100, I would go into Suno and it's like, okay, well, I can't play trumpet, I can't play guitar, I can't play drums, but I'll put in a prompt for the genre and kind of feel that I want, but I will write all the lyrics. Does that make me a lyricist? Not yet. You know, I would say, because I'm still working on it, but doing that has improved my lyricism a lot. And now I'm just writing raps and like country songs on my phone without having all the noise of like AI music behind it, that I'm eventually going to try and turn into full songs on my own. Either, you know, recording stuff with my buddy who can play guitar and maybe have him play alongside me while I sing or something, or, you know, going into Cubase and drawing up some drum beats or something and rapping over that. That makes me a musician. That makes me a lyricist, because I'm using what I have and using access to tools that make the process easier to actually make something. It still takes time, farther than just like typing in a prompt.
Now, I think we
I'm not
can
there
all,
yet,
I
but
think
I
we
will
can
be,
all
you
agree,
know?
though. I think we can all agree. Artists, commission artists.
Yes, absolutely.
We can agree. Well, I was going to say artists, commission artists, and AI quote unquote artists can agree that we all hate the sons of bitches that will print out a picture on a piece of canvas and try to pass it off as their own. They'll get some deviant art or whatever and just print it out on a canvas, or worse, we'll go to fucking what's it called? Marshalls. I think it's Marshalls. And
Marshalls or Kinkos.
No. Marshalls. Like it's like a nice store or well, not a nice store. It always looks like shit. But it's a store where you could kind of buy some nicer things that for a little bit cheaper. And they'll go there and they'll get all the fucking printed canvas pictures and then try to pass them off as though they painted them. Like I have seen this video of these assholes that will, you know, oh, let me reveal my Fallout art. And as they reveal their Fallout, now they have them backwards. Okay. And as they reveal it, they show the sides of it. Now they're getting a little smarter and showing the opposite side, but they used to show you the side where you could see the barcode on the painted part of the fucking of the picture. Like, god damn, they're so good. They even put a barcode on there. Wow. And they're like, look at my art. Fuck you. Fuck those motherfuckers. You're a piece of shit. And what's worse is I've seen the comments. Oh my God, that's so awesome. Wow. That is so good. You should really charge people for that. Motherfucker. You didn't see the fucking barcode? Like, you piece of shit. There is not one single brush stroke on that canvas. Not one. And you didn't see the fucking barcode?
Well, maybe they're just that good, Boz.
Oh, yeah, they must be that fucking good. But I'm sure commissioned artists and people who use AI can agree. Fuck those guys. Those guys are pieces of shit.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like
But
I'll be honest, I
yes,
got pictures, canvas pictures from Marshalls, 100%. I got fucking, where it's on a canvas, it looks nice. And yeah, I got those. They're cool. And but yeah, I mean, for some asshole to go there, grab that shit and turn around and say, "Look at the art that I painted." Fuck you. Fuck you. But yeah, um, oh, commissioned artists that will do artwork for free. Those guys, those guys are absolutely amazing. I tell you, I've seen some of them where they're like, "Hey, I'll do, just to get themselves a portfolio, so that they could say, look at all the artwork I've done." Some of those guys are absolutely amazing, and I've never used any of them. Reason is because I'm picky, and I got zero fucking reason to be picky with these people. Because if somebody's willing to do something for you for free, just be happy. Just be fucking happy. But that's if you're using them. Don't be picky with them. You have no fucking room to be picky, especially if you're not paying them. Fuck you if you're picky. Just don't use them.
Yeah, and if I can recommend, I've found a lot of really good artists that don't use AI, from the subreddit Hungry Artists. Everyone on there, I mean, that subreddit it's 24/7. You make a post on there saying, "Hey, I'm looking for, art within this price range, of this topic with this style," and I'm not even kidding, within 30 seconds you'll get 5 to 10 replies of artists that can give you exactly what you're looking for, and a lot of their prices are very fair, and a lot of those guys will work tirelessly to make sure you get what you want. And what I always stand by is I will pay extra if they've done an exceptional job, they've gotten it to me quick, or if they put up with my revision requests and stuff like that. You can never overpay artists that do good work and communicate well and strive to give you what you want. So support local artists, support artists online. If you can, go on DeviantArt, go on Blue Sky, go on Twitter, go on Reddit, and find an artist that you can verify their work isn't just made by AI crap. That can give you what you're looking for. Shout them out on socials if you get work commissioned by them. Because especially with the rise of popularity in AI, I know it seems a little hypocritical coming from us because I brag about all the stuff that I write in Suno and stuff like that, but like genuinely, artists they deserve, commission work. They deserve to be recognized. They deserve, publicity and, to spread their work around. So I encourage everyone, if you're in a financial position to do so, and you want art drawn, don't go to an AI, unless it's like your only option. You have no money. Go to an artist and pay them fairly for good work.
And be sure to suck their dick too, because apparently that's what Slacker's doing over here, just slobbing that cock. Jesus.
Oh, dude. I got that titanium white all in my mouth, and I'm just gargling it around.
You're just like, "Hey, I put mint and ice cubes in my mouth for you, bud."
Nice and chilly for your willy.
Yeah, right. Jesus. Yeah, no. I tell you, if you get an artist that's cool, that fucking does your shit exactly how you want it, fucking be happy. And yeah, stick with them. But don't, never look a gift horse in the mouth, and never be picky with a gift horse. Because I tell you what, fucking, if somebody is kind enough to do something for you for free, don't be that piece of shit. Do not be that piece of shit, because you're a piece of shit. Oh, well, I want it this way. I want it this way. It's not exactly how I want it. I want it this way. Like, don't be a piece of shit. That's why I don't deal with free people. I mean, I do appreciate free because, you know, I am half Jew, but I also know that I am a picky motherfucker. And that's not fair.
I'm going to commission a piece of your character spinning a dreidel.
And I will show up at your house and I will stab you with a menorah. I'll even do Jessup's voice for you. We could talk about that because this is coming out after that episode. Yeah.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah,
I've said it 1,000 times. Every time we record a new episode, there's at least one moment where afterwards I'm like, that's the hardest I've ever laughed. This is the hardest I've ever laughed to date with this fucking character that Boss introduced in the second half of our recording session, which is going to be the next episode that comes out. Or I guess it will already have come out by the time this comes out.
Yes. Because this is coming out Monday, which today is Tuesday, so it's coming out next week, which the new Fallout episode's coming out Thursday. So yeah, fucking yeah, and you guys were surprised that was an ass pull. Like that's what caught me off guard was you motherfuckers were like, no way that this isn't a pre-written character. It's like, what?
Have you played any of the Fallout games? There's so many crazy characters.
I have played the Fallout games, but my thing is, you know, in the book, there was no crazed character. There was no character that fucking was named Jessup that you guys get to meet. So yeah, it was one of those where it's like, all right, now I could kind of, you know, stretch my toes and strut a bit. But yeah, fucking Jessup is damn funny. I mean, I was chuckling.
Oh my gosh,
I was chuckling a bit.
I mean, it was like an hour of banter between like Graft and Jessup and him feeding us fucking human meat.
Yep.
And just
it was Ravi.
You know,
it was Ravi
that I punched a hole in the chest of.
It was Ravi. It was like Ravi. Hey, Robert, Two Fists, Steely Dan. Did you hear about that time I punched a hole in a man the size of my fucking fist?
Dude, that entire Discord call, like, there was a solid 20 seconds where no one could hear anything because we were all laughing into our microphones.
Oh, yeah, that shit was wild.
I actually got so close to vomiting from laughing, and and that's an impressive feat because I have a legit phobia of vomiting where if I have to throw up, like if I have food poisoning, my body will let me suffer. It won't let me throw up. Like I'll have shits for like 2 weeks and I'll just be in immense pain and I'll feel like I'm about to vomit, but I never will. Like you got me so close to actually throwing up from laughing that hard.
That shit had me dead. Fuck you.
You were muting your mic in between talking, like to laugh, weren't you?
Oh no, I wasn't muting myself. I was like laughing, but like quietly laughing because I just the reactions from you guys. Holy shit, was that funny? Because
I'm just imagining you like hunched over your mic like a fucking goblin, like trying to suppress your laughter.
Well,
that's what I was doing.
To be fair. Now, when you guys showed up because when you guys were showing up to the Red Rocket, I'd already had it in my head. All right, there's going to be this crazed character in there. He's going to have every entryway is going to have a trap. And there's only 3 points of entry from the back and the sides. And, you know, well, we're going to, you know, let's each take a door and kind of, you know, rush in. It's like, oh, well, we're going to have a TPK then. And then, you know, well, let's try to not be so forceful. Let's present it as, hey, you know, we're just passing by and need a place to stay.
I think it's so funny that in this campaign, practically every situation where it didn't need to escalate to violence, we escalated it to violence. And then all the situations where it's completely justified where we would get injured or killed, we picked like the pacifist option.
Exactly. Because I tell you, when Ravi was like, I have whiskey. Like, whiskey? Oh, That sounds really good. Yeah. Let me disarm the traps. And I heard you go, oh. Because, yeah, those traps would have killed you guys. And he'd have shot and killed you to finish you off.
And punch a hole in you the size of your fist.
You fool. You shouldn't have tried to get in here. Well, who am I to stop it when the meat shows up to my doorstep?
So fucking good.
Oh, my God. And then, yeah, fucking that whole interaction was just funnier than hell. And, you know, the way to explain that this old man is a cannibal, very easy. Oh, well, you know, it's hard to go hunting when the thing fucking runs away from you.
That's so good.
Who am I to say no when the meat shows up to my doorstep? Were you friends with that fucking asshole?
And he just got like completely naked and
yeah, he was just standing there in his fucking underwear and boots. I had a kidney stone that came out of the tip of my dick that looked like a marble, so I shot a woman with it and took her suit.
so insane. That's crazy work, bro.
Oh, dude.
I think that was the point where I almost vomited. I think you could hear me like coughing and gagging as I'm like leaning away from my mic. For anyone who's like easily off put by like coughing and I'm so sorry. This most recent episode is not going to be for you.
Oh my God, that shit had me fucking. Oh man, I was practically pissing my pants laughing because fuck. And then I was like, all right, well, now we got to get to the point where are these guys going to meet? Well, why not meet here? And I forget which one of you guys said, I want him in the, can we keep him? I think that was the term.
It was Max. Max.
I was like, all right, fuck it. Let's keep him. He's not going to be traveling with you guys, but he'll be here. And then it's like, all right, perfect meeting place.
What killed me the most about that whole interaction is that Mightorth was in the call the whole time, and he didn't say a word in character till like the last 2 minutes of the episode.
Yep.
But during that whole scene, every time there was a lull of silence, you could just hear him go giggling.
Oh yeah. He's like, God, I wish Bush was there right now.
Oh, him and Jessup would be best friends. Are you kidding me?
Fucking.
Or they're going to be, I should say, because we're going to introduce Bush to Jessup.
Yep. And fucking what is it? Yeah, the brain surgery part on a super mutant. Holy fuck, that was funny. I did that too. I shot him in the face and his head popped off.
Yep. I wore his skin for a little bit or whatever you said.
Oh, or when he wore the face of that raider. And
yeah.
Just look at me, I'm a raider.
And I think I was like, Axel looks at the body, does he know this guy?
Right? It's like, motherfucker, no. He doesn't know this guy. He's just a fucking raider I pulled out of my ass.
I was secretly hoping it was a Forge guy, someone from the Forge, because then I could have been like, ah, damn it, he still owes me 20 caps.
Oh, shit. But no, that was fucking, oh my God. That was a funny character. Definitely.
So,
oh my God. But yeah. Yeah, and the party's back together. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what comes of everything that happened, because yeah, Graft had that moment with Hancock, which
so good.
I don't think it went exactly how he wanted it, but I mean it makes sense. It makes sense because
No, but dude, the scene that he had with Axel and then like Funk's fucking ghost. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
I was so flattered that he was like, and above game, what would Runt say in this moment if he was here? I was like, you're not gonna do this to me.
I was thinking like, oh, I'll just let it play out, because it's like, okay, so you're asking the player who's gonna get shot what his former character would say about like, I think his opinion might be a bit skewed, don't you think? Let it played out exactly how it should have. Because I don't think so. Wow. Like you actually hear runt from the furthest reaches of your mind. Do it.
Do it.
Do it. Kill him.
It flew through you.
I was just kidding, guys.
Oh, that's fucked up, man.
I didn't mean for you to actually kill him.
That's a bullet.
Whoa, kid. Whoa. But yeah, fucking, then the Minutemen showing up, fucking right as, pretty much right after you guys got there.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were just in the area. They happened to be in the area.
I think it's so funny that we're basically playing an original campaign now because of our fuck-ups.
Pretty much. I mean, it's still got the main points from the book, because the main points do still make sense. But yeah, I mean, killing the Minutemen definitely threw shit off the rails. I mean, granted, it made sense for you guys to kill them. I mean, story-wise, it makes sense now. At the time, it's just like, damn, you guys, Jesus, anybody fires off at the fucking lip, you guys are just like, fuck you, dead.
Yeah, we're definitely a lot more careful now. We don't need any more enemies right now.
Fucking murder hobos are now actual fucking murder hobos. We don't have a place. We don't have a place to live. No bar to hang out. Nothing. But it gives me a little more creative freedom.
I prefer homicide vagrant. Thank you very much.
Right? I prefer that I don't take lip off no bullshit.
Wow.
Did you look at me funny?
I'll punch a hole in you the size of my...
Shit.
God, I can't even say it without laughing.
I'll put a hole in your chest the size of my fucking fist.
I'll fist a hole in you the size of my chest. I'll fist your hole.
You look like you're quite attached to your face. Be a shame if I wore it. I'm gonna eat you. That's a fucking...
Did you know the nose has over 17,000 nerve endings? Let's find them.
Right? I'm a search. Just bites off somebody's nose. Shit. The legend of Jessup.
Dude, I'm totally gonna do something like that with Axel in combat, where he's like biting off someone's like hand or something, or biting off their finger or something.
I put their whole hand in my mouth to show off my impressive skills as I
establish dominance.
As I crunch down on the void between the wrist and the hand. It's like cutting a carrot. It makes the same sound. Fuck. Jesus. Yeah, if you do that, Kieran's probably shortly after going to be like, I put his penis in my mouth and bite down. Like, what?
and then I put it to where my bonus hole is so I could feel like what it's like to be a man again. Oh, Flanagan's a man again.
Yeah, Flanagan's a man again. If he does that, if he does try to get a dick and ball surgically attached to him, that is exactly what the episode is going to be called. Oh, Flanagan's a man again.
Go back to Doc Crockett. Would you like a penis? Yes, please, for the love of God, yes. It's been so long.
Of course. It won't work, but it'll just kind of hang there, giving you the idea that it exists. Though, if you do try to pee, it'll balloon up before it reaches the, it'll build pressure inside and it'll get engorged, and then it will release the pressure like a balloon.
If you want to get an erection, just stick a popsicle stick in there.
You see that skewer? See that chopstick that robot's using to mix the noodles at the power noodle station? Just slide it down there.
Huh?
Right? What was I saying? Hajime Mas, I think it was. And
something like that.
Some shit. I couldn't, but that's exactly what the robot said, is what you said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know like bits and pieces of Japanese because I'm fucking weeb trash.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how to actually speak Japanese.
Me neither. I don't even know where I got the Hajime Mas from.
I don't know. You fucking weeb.
I'm fucking, what is it? Mr. Roboto. Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto.
Please eat some shit. Dude, the Austin Power movies are so good.
Oh God.
I actually screenshotted that whole the screenshot where it's like, please eat some shiitake mushrooms, but the ake mushrooms is like blocked out by like something white on the screen, so it looks like he's saying please eat some shit. I put that in a fucking tweet about the whole Nintendo Direct thing because I can't believe how much they're planning to charge for the console and the games.
Oh my God. I tell you, I saw how much they were charging for the console, and I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Like, what?
Yeah.
That doesn't make a lick of fucking sense. Then on top of that, the games are now going to be $80. And
for digital copies and $90 for physical. And it's not even a disc or a cartridge or anything. It's just a fucking container with a game code in it.
Wow. Wait,
it
really?
Sucks because, yes.
Then that's not physical copy. That's just a case.
It's just a fucking case with a fucking Chinese fortune cookie strip of paper in it.
Jesus.
Here's your game that you overpaid for that we can revoke your license to play at any time, by the way.
Yeah, that's one thing I do not like, is now they could just take games away from you. You paid full price for it, but if they choose to revoke your ability to play it, they can at any time for any reason.
Yep. And it sucks because internally for its employees, Nintendo is such a forward-thinking company. They have great benefits and all this stuff for their employees. They're so ahead of their time. But in terms of their customers, they act like it's still 1981 and they just haven't moved forward with any of their policy regarding like how they treat their customers since then. Literally the only constructive thing is that Nintendo's Game Boy original help telephone line is still up, and you can call if you have questions about how to fix your original Game Boy. That's about it. That's where Nintendo's fucking kindness for customers ends. And they know that that we have to put up with it because they make great games. The second they stop putting out consistent bangers, people are going to start waving the black flag again. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't say that they're putting out bangers. I mean...
Well, not after the shit that I saw for the Direct.
No. I'm talking, like the Nintendo Switch was cool when it was first unveiled. It was cool. And the games that, subsequently came out, of course you had the Legend of Zelda, you had the Mario, Pokemon, of course, but people were realizing that a lot of the games were using reused assets, that a game that can play like what was it? I think it was either Pokemon or the Legend of Zelda.
Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah, it was basically completely reused.
Well, no, the first one, the Breath of the Wild, I think it was called. The trees were, just shit. Like they look like shit for a game that should be not looking like shit.
Yeah,
So,
but it's sold a lot. What I'm saying,
It's
I guess I shouldn't say bangers. I guess I should say once sales start declining as they should for the quality of games that Nintendo has been putting out lately, then people are going to start turning to pirating
well,
because it's always been the solution. If a company can't make a satisfactory or superior product, people will find ways to get it for free and undercut the company. That's just how it's always been.
well, and that's my thing is it's inevitable. But I mean, the only reason people still buy the games is because you can't play it on anything else. Like, look at Sony
Right,
games.
it's exclusive.
Look at Sony games. Look at Microsoft games. Look at Xbox games. That's what I meant to say.
Microsoft has completely given up on making games altogether. They just basically do emulation now.
Well, but that's the thing is you could get them. You could play a game that used to be a Xbox exclusive. You could play it on the PC now. You could play it on, the PlayStation, with the, oh, hey, here's a game. You can't play the Halos yet on PlayStation, but I'm sure that's going to come soon. But yeah, I mean, Nintendo is keeping everything exclusive to them. That's the only reason why people still deal with Nintendo is because they're exclusive.
I'm calling it, bro. In the next 20 years or less, fucking Disney is gonna buy Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft. And we're gonna get a fucking Mickey Mouse gamepad. It's gonna have all the fucking games on it.
Well, I to be completely honest, I hope that never happens because you need options. You need, I mean, that's what pushed the video game industry so hard was you had competition. I mean, granted, you had the big three. You had Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo. And then, of course,
back then, there was like the developer companies were more to talk about, like Rareware and Neversoft, and FromSoft is still a giant today.
Well, and that's the thing is you had competition, and now it just seems like everybody is like, all right, we're big, we're as big as we can get. Let's work together. Nintendo's like, no. We are not working together. We are still competing. And it's just like, okay, all right. So now people who want to play Legend of Zelda either have to fly the black flag or have to fork out the shit ton of cash just to fucking play a game that may work. Because I'm sorry, a lot of their games that are coming out are riddled with fucking bugs. A lot of their games that are coming out are so fucking ridiculously stupid. Like with the Pokemon games, they used to have gimmicks. They used to have a gimmick where, oh, hey, look, this gimmick is, Mega Evolutions. This gimmick is, Dynamax Evolutions. They still got the gimmicks, but now they're getting into gimmicks where it's, oh, well, now the gameplay is a gimmick. Like people like I enjoy the Pokemon games. Well, now you can dodge in the new Pokemon game. You can dodge the attacks. And people are like, oh, that's so cool. Oh, and it's like, That
defeats the whole idea of turn-based combat.
Exactly.
If you just have a designated dodge button.
Yeah, it's not turn-based combat now. Now it's
these have been rules since Final Fantasy 1. You either attack, use an item, use a skill, or defend. It's one or the other.
Exactly. And I mean, it's I'm not getting the new one, I'll be honest, because one, it's going to be on the new console exclusively. And two, I've got all the ones that I'm happy with. I mean, there's no point in getting more. The only thing I will buy is if they do come out with a bundle of all the old Game Boy games of Pokemon. That's the only one I'll buy.
That would be great.
Yeah.
I mean,
because that's my childhood, and that's purely a nostalgia purchase.
I mean, they have like the old software programs on the Switch that you can get. If you have Nintendo Online, you get them for free.
Yeah, but they don't have the Pokemon games.
Yeah, they have Earthbound on there, though, which is a godsend. I love playing the Earthbound games as a kid, but you know, I didn't really know. I played Mother 1 and I played Earthbound, but I didn't really know what was being said because it was all like shitty like Japanese dubs on Game Boy. You know,
Ah,
like the emulations or ports,
well,
and it was all like shitty Japanese.
the only reason I play fucking Nintendo console is just for the Pokemon games. Like, I got a Legend of Zelda game, never played it, didn't enjoy it. I did not enjoy Breath of the Wild because it was one of those where I did not like the idea that, you know, you could get all these weapons, but they all break. You get the Master Sword, the fucking Master Sword, the thing that Link is known for the best, and it could break. And it's just like,
that's insane.
it's like, no, at that point, no, I'm fucking over it. And the only way you could get it is if you either glitch it or you get it legitimately, but you have to have enough hearts. Which, sorry, nah, I'm not. I mean, you have to bust your ass in the game to get something that's supposed to be an end boss, an end game item, and it still breaks. Like, that's goofy. That's goofier than shit. And of course, I've seen people play it online where they'll glitch it and they'll get it. And it's like, all right, cool. And they've got the end game weapon at the beginning. So life is a whole lot easier. But yeah, it just, I don't know. I love the Legend of Zelda games. I think the last one I played was, what was it? It was on the GameCube. It was
Wind Waker?
No.
Twilight Princess?
Twilight Princess, thank you. Yes, it was that one. Loved that one. I mean, it brought me back to my childhood because I remember growing up playing Ocarina of Time. And it was fun. I enjoyed it. Last one I ever played. Then I got the Breath of the Wild, and it wasn't the same. It was like, like they put some. They took a lot of creative freedom.
I feel like making big games is just not Nintendo's thing. I feel like there's like when they make a big game, they just put so much in it that you have like choice paralysis, and it just feels overwhelming.
Well, the Legend of Zelda games, you progressed a certain way. It was linear, but it never felt linear.
Now because it gave you the option to go wherever, and then you had to figure out on your own where to go.
Exactly. And like with the old games, it was okay, we're gonna stick in this world where you can go anywhere. But to actually
Zelda
succeed,
was kind of like the first. Sorry.
Well, I was going to say, to actually succeed, you need to go through the progression, but you can go anywhere you want. Now it's just like, well, you can go anywhere you want. You don't need to progress. You just go anywhere you want. You want to fight the end boss immediately after waking up? You can. And it's like, I could see the appeal of that, but it's one of those things where it's just like, to me, it's like, nah, it's the journey.
Yeah. I will say
makes it fun.
Yeah, I will say watching, and I'm not a guy who watches speedruns, but speedruns of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are really fun to watch.
I think that's what really fucked gaming up, was speedrunners.
I kind of disagree. I mean, it's part of the community. It builds interest for the games.
It does, but I think game developers have gotten to the point where they're, like, it doesn't matter. The speedrunner is going to run through your shit quick. And game developers, for some reason, think, oh, that's what people want. Like, you remember, I don't know, they used to be able to play a game, and it was based off of how many hours you could put in to that game. You used to be the bragging point, oh, I put 80 hours into the game and I'm still not done. Before that, it was levels. Like, oh, I'm on level, 200. But now it's just like, you could pick up a game and be done with it within 6 hours.
But if you really enjoyed the 6 hours, it might be worth it to you. Not every game has to have 100+ hours of content.
True. But my thing is if I'm buying a game at fucking $80 or $70, and I'm only getting 6 hours worth of shit out of it, but then they're gonna hit me with, you know, a ton of DLC that I can purchase that will expand the world. Because let's be honest, games don't come out with just, oh hey, here's 6 hours of content. It's,
no,
hey,
that is true.
here's
That
6
is true.
hours of content, but if you want more, you're gonna have to pay $24 for the expansion.
Yeah, games don't come out complete anymore.
No,
Dude,
and that's,
I will say the thing that ticks me off most: open beta testing. It's like, hey, we don't want to pay beta testers, so we're going to have you buy the game and play test it for us. And then when you send error reports about what's going wrong, we're just not going to listen to it and patch it 2 years later after you've already given up on the game because it still sucks dick.
Yeah. Or those ones that, you know, they still have support for the game, but every time there's a major game breaking bug, instead of fixing it to, you know, keep the player base, they just introduce some new goofy shit or cosmetic to just get someone to replace replace the players that left. Oh, hey,
exactly.
we could fix this bug, but instead of fixing the bug, we'd much rather just, you know, get new players to replace you and generate new interest.
To fucking Call of Duty, stop doing open betas. It's stupid. No one actually likes it. It's popular for like a week and then no one plays it until it's fully out. You are a huge production company that has the rights to one of the most popular gaming franchises in the world and always will be because people love shooters. Pay beta testers to come in and play your game and tell you what's wrong with it and then fix what they tell you is wrong with it. It's a simple fucking concept, dude. I hate that companies do this now.
Well, and you know, on the flip side, the belief that games used to always come out completed is a myth. There was plenty of games that would come out that were just incomplete or unplayable because of a game breaking bug. I forget, there was one, I think it was like Road Rash or some bullshit.
Yeah, but the thing is they're not, like, back then they weren't knowingly releasing it knowing it was incomplete. Now they do it proudly and they charge you for it.
Well, yeah, and that's the difference is, you know, now they do it knowing fully well that there's bugs in there and they expect their community to, you know, basically report them. Oh, hey, there's this game breaking bug. You may want to fix it. Oh, hey, you know, there's this glitch that is, you know, kind of game breaking. You may want to fix it. It's like, well, hang on,
bro. Like,
when the fuck did I work for you?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, when the fuck did I become an employee? Like, I mean, I enjoy playing video games, but goddamn, these AAA companies, man, they're just content because people will still buy it. You know, they're content putting out shit.
Thing.
And I had this conversation.
They're not going to stop doing it because they know that they'll still buy it just because of the name alone.
Well, and I had this conversation with Aurelius, oddly enough, that a company can slap a label onto a game and say, hey, we have this new game coming out. And the last game that you played of that franchise was absolute shit. But assholes will still go, oh, that was such a shitty game, but maybe it's different this time.
Yeah, law of averages.
Well, it's like the abusive relationship. Like, how long are you going to take the abuse financially until you realize, hey, this company fucking sucks? And by then they've already gotten, you know, $300, $400, $500 from you. But yeah, no, they put out a game that's got 6 hours of content. Yeah, sure, you could have fun in that 6 hours, but then they're putting out DLC that's, you know, $20 that adds on to the game. And it's just like, why didn't you add this to begin with? And I think it started with Azura's Wrath. Because Azura's Wrath came out and I guess the base game ending was just kind of shit. So instead of, you know, fixing it or just saying, all right, well, we're throwing up our hands because people didn't like it, hey, if you want the true ending of Azura's Wrath, spend $24 and you'll get the true ending.
Yeah, I suppose it is true. And I will say, as much as I love the Fallout series, Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, you had to buy the DLC or the expansions to like play after the main story.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, granted, it came with a bunch of awesome DLC that lasted hours and new weapons, followers, all that stuff. But I don't think that it's something that should have been locked from the very beginning. Like what I like is what the Metal Gear Solid games do, where if you grind and I mean, I again, it's not for everyone, but you can unlock basically everything in MGS5 by just replaying missions and doing all of the mission prompts. So like it rewards your hard work. Granted, it's a grind, but if you really like the MGSV, if you really like MGS and you want to unlock everything in the game and play like, you know, the secret levels or whatever, then you can do that and it doesn't cost you anything extra.
Well, Bethesda's biggest issue, and this is the thing I hate, Bethesda relies too heavily on modders to fix their shit.
Yep.
That's one thing I do not like, is they'll put out a
modders,
wonderful game. They'll put out a wonderful game, but they'll never fix a fucking bug.
Well, let's not be too generous. Starfield sucked ass, and the only reason it's enjoyable now is because of modders. So, I mean, but it does kind of prove your point.
Well, that's my thing is with the, and I'm not even talking Starfield, because yeah, Starfield was a steaming pile of shit. And
which sucks because it had so much. I was so hyped for this game. You can ask Max. I bought like the Starfield headset, the Starfield controller. Like I was so hyped for it. Of course, I should have known better. Bethesda hasn't made anything complete on launch in like 15 years.
Well, I mean, when
more than that, actually,
was it Pete Hines or Todd Howard that came out and said, "Yeah, we have billions of planets." Or was it billions or millions?
I think it was millions. No, it was like 100,000 or something like that.
Some fucking high ass number, and then he said, and they are all hand done, like they are all worked on, and it's just like, that sounds like that Fallout 76 where everything is built from the ground up. Oh, you mean you guys didn't reuse assets? Oh, okay. Oh, weird how that worked out.
Yep.
But no.
Well, it also means 90% of those planets were fucking empty.
Well, and that's the thing is it's just like, okay, so a bunch of those planets are empty. At least with No Man's Sky, they were like, hey, it's all procedurally generated. So when you go to a new galaxy, for the first time, no one else has discovered it. You're the first to discover it. You know that those planets are procedurally generated, and that some of them may be pretty fucked up, but it's still procedurally generated. As opposed to if they came out and said, yes, each planet is handcrafted. Because then it's like, what do you mean handcrafted? Like, did you guys take Play-Doh and smash it together? Go, there's the planet.
Kind of feels like it, bro. Some of the planets that I visited in the Starfield were just like, it's just like, fucking moon rock as far as I could see and nothing else.
Oh, and I really love how, those planets that you guys can visit in Starfield is a square map.
Yeah.
At least in No Man's Sky, you could fucking run from one end of the planet to the other. I mean, it will take you some fucking time, but you can still do it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
or like in No Man's Sky, if you don't want to use the gravity drive or whatever, you can just fly at a normal speed and be like, oh, it'll take you 8.6 years in real time to reach this planet.
Exactly.
That was kind of cool.
And that's the thing. Now, granted, No Man's Sky had a shitty launch, but they spent whenever the fuck it launched till now building the fucking game. Giving it.
Yeah, it was like 8 years, I think.
Yeah,
it was a long time coming.
Giving players a lot of free content to build upon the game. Bethesda.
And I will say, I think I think No Man's Sky can be forgiven for it because I think it was like their first project ever, and like they were basically learning how to make a game as they made the game.
No, what they found out, because what they did was they I think it's false marketing. They said, "Oh yeah, you and your friends can, play together in this infinitely expanding universe." Yeah, if you and your friends can fucking find each other, sure. Sure.
Yeah.
The planets were pretty barren. It wasn't like how they had shown in the trailers. So yeah, a lot of people were pissed, and I think instead of, them going, well, you got what you paid for, grow the fuck up. They were like, well, we're not a big time company, so let's work on this. Let's fix it.
And they did.
Bethesda, on the other hand, oh well,
here's mod support. You guys do it yourselves.
Yeah, we'll just give you the creation kit. Here you go. Have fun. Bye. Yeah. But if you exploit our game, if you find an exploit in our game, we're gonna patch it. Because we don't want you cheating. A game-breaking bug? Shit. You better hope those modders.
We don't want you finding new ways to enjoy our game.
Oh, and then if you after 10 years of mod support, and there's a robust mod community for this game, we're just gonna randomly put out a patch that just breaks all your mods, because fuck you.
Yep.
Yeah. Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 4 all got that fucking treatment. Oh no, I don't think New Vegas did. I think it was just Fallout 3. For some reason, they updated the game just randomly out of the blue to end, what was it, the Microsoft launcher support or some bullshit. And it's just, it broke every fucking mod that used the script extender. And it's like, wow.
On my ROG Ally, I can't even launch Fallout 3 anymore.
Yeah. So when they put and that's what they do. They make sure that they, let their mod community grow and look at all the robust support we have for this game. Be a shame if there was a random update. Oop. Oh, shit.
Similar to Nintendo, Bethesda is just so out of touch with what their fan base wants. Literally, after Bethesda released New Vegas, and 3, they could have just done nothing. They literally could have sat back on their laurels and done nothing and just lay out mod support for the game, and just and people would there'd be even more congruent players on New Vegas than there are, and there's still a lot on New Vegas for it being as old as it is, but releasing those patches years later that just broke everything, it took the wind out of so many modders' sails that a lot of them just didn't even want to go back to it.
Yeah,
and that sucks because Bethesda's modding community is amazing. Like I said, they made Starfield enjoyable. They made it so that you can there's not just humans, there's alien races and that you can play as, and NPCs are turned into, and they release supplementary dialogue from secondhand voice actors and stuff, and new quests that put up the pillars of all the lore for why aliens exist now, whereas in the base game they didn't, and all this stuff. And it's awesome. And I hate that one day, but that's just gonna pull the plug because for whatever reason Todd Howard just doesn't feel like it that day.
Well, yeah, breaking the modding community keeps us from, or breaking the game, or breaking sending out an update that ends up breaking all your mods, keeps us from beautiful gems like Fallout Frontiers, or Fallout Frontier. I mean, that was
Fallout London.
Oh, Fallout Frontier was an absolute gem. Blows Fallout London and Fallout Florida out of the fucking water.
Damn. I have to play that then.
You should. I mean, it just expands upon the lore. I mean, it was well written by a group of very mentally stable individuals that, have zero fucking issues that they need to address with a therapist. And for those of you who don't
Since
realize
some,
I'm being sarcastic, you can fuck a death
yeah, I
claw
was
in
about
there.
to say.
Like they hype that fucking
Dude,
mod up so goddamn much, and it's just one of those. It's fucking terrible. I mean, absolutely terrible. Because yes, I think you could fuck a death claw in there. They either have like what is it, like rape fetish or fetish size rape, um,
oh no.
all kinds of bullshit. You know,
Okay.
sorry, my girl came in and decided to ask me if I fed the cat, you know, like I'm not fucking recording. So, yeah. But no, they fetishize rape. There are all kinds of shit in there that's just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like that's fucking weird.
Oh boy.
Pretty sure those
All right.
creators should be on a watch list.
Well, that's as good a note to end on as any.
Yeah, what's the music? What's the music for the music suggestion for this episode?
Yeah, the music suggestion for this episode is Euphoria by Pump Action.
What is
Hold
that?
for the applause.
What is
Keep
that
holding.
one song? I'm trying to think.
Hmm.
I'm looking up a song. I don't fucking know. It's not that big of. It's not that fucking important.
You can post it on Twitter later.
Maybe. I mean, it's that one song that's for that damn Phase 1 game that's being investigated by those drug dealer simulator creators.
Oh, Schedule 1.
Mm-hmm. What I say,
actually
Phase
I've
1?
been playing Schedule 1.
You've been
Yeah,
playing
you
it?
said Phase 1.
Oh yeah,
I've been playing
Schedule 1.
Schedule 1. Yeah, it's fun.
Hell yeah, it's fun. It's a lot more fun than I fucking realized because Aurelius was trying to get me to play it. And yeah, I was just like, this game looks like shit. I'm not a big fan of the whole drug dealer thing because it's just like, meh. You know, it doesn't really appeal to me. But yeah, no, I could see the creativity in that game that you can do because it's basically open world. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
And the developers have like a public roadmap on their website of all the stuff they're going to do. Like they're already working on controller support.
You mean developer?
Mod support. Well, yeah. I mean, it's technically a studio, but I'm pretty sure it's one guy. So,
yeah.
But yeah, like they have a whole roadmap of like what they want to do for mod support going forward to make it easier to integrate and all that stuff. Controller support. I think they're doing like language dubs soon too, like localizations.
Hey.
But
yeah, me and Aurelius are working on a series with Phase 1. So we're just ironing out the details, and he's gonna edit it, not me. Because oddly enough, speaking of picky, that man is picky. Because when he has a vision of how something should be, that man is picky. And me personally, if I'm editing something and I'm spending hours on that shit, and that man comes at me fucking pick-eared in hell, it's like, fuck you, dude. So
you're
yeah,
like, that file is getting deleted.
No, it's you do it. You do it because it's your vision. So he's gonna edit that. So dude, we'll probably have that uploaded in 5-6 years.
I gotta see if I can do multiplayer with you guys on my ROG Ally, because that would be so funny.
I think you can, yeah.
I mean, I mean, I play it through Steam, so if I can add you guys on Steam, then
yeah, add me on Steam, and I'll let him know. But yeah, add me on Steam.
For sure.
You know, I'll tell you my screen name off camera. That way, you know, I'll get just random friend ads. You know, because I'm not. I'm sorry. You know, I'm not really big on just adding randoms that enjoy the stuff. you know, because you know I don't know you guys. I'm sorry. But yeah, I'll definitely. I mean, that'd be cool just to dick around with it. You need to get a Oscar. Oscar's a fucking fun one. Oh my god, me and Mydorth have been playing that, and you know we're gonna get a series going.
Send me the Steam link to it. I'll check it out.
I'll send you the Steam link, baby. It'll be just a picture of me taking a shit. There's your Steam
link. Picture
link.
of the back of your balls.
With a turd poking out, steaming. There's your Steam link.
Okay. Okay.
But on that note,
thanks for tuning into this episode of the Master BATR Cast. See you in the next episode.
Yep. See ya.